Have you ever stood in a room full of people and still felt completely alone? You're surrounded by people who genuinely care about you. Laughter, inside jokes, people asking how you're doing, and yet it feels like you're not really there. Not physically alone, not even ignored, just disconnected. Like there's a glass wall between you and everyone else. You can see them, you can hear them, but you can't quite reach them. And the strangest part? An hour before you got there, you probably felt more connected scrolling on your phone. So, what's happening? Are your friendships fake? Is something wrong with you? Or is there something deeper? Something your brain is doing without your permission that makes you feel lonely even when you belong? Pattern 1. The loneliness paradox. Presence versus connection. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Loneliness is not about how many people are around you. It never was. John Cacioppo, one of the most respected researchers on loneliness, spent decades studying this. And what he found was simple but uncomfortable. Loneliness is not a social condition. It's a perceptual one. It's not about the presence of people. It's about the quality of connection you feel. In every social situation, your brain is quietly asking one question. Am I truly seen here? Not, am I liked? Not, do people know my name? But, do they actually know me? And when the answer is even slightly, not really, your nervous system registers it as isolation. Even if you're laughing, even if on the surface you're having a good time. Think about the last time you were in a group conversation. Someone asked you something and you gave a safe, easy answer. Not the real one. You held something back because there wasn't enough space, or enough trust, or maybe you just didn't want to change the vibe. That's the gap, that small, quiet decision to hold back. That's where loneliness begins. Pattern 2. The persona. Mask versus self. There's a concept in psychology called the social self, the version of you that shows up to protect you in public. It's not fake exactly, it's just edited, carefully curated. You soften the sharp edges. You stay within the version of yourself that people have already accepted. Carl Jung called this the persona, the mask we wear to navigate the social world. And the persona isn't the enemy. It's useful. It's necessary. But here's the problem. When you wear it for too long, even around people you love, you start to feel invisible because the mask is being seen, not you. This shows up a lot in friend groups built around a shared role. Work friends, college friends, neighborhood friends. The connection started with a context. And when that context shifts, something starts to feel off. You're still playing the same character, but the script feels outdated. So instead of feeling connection, you start performing it. You say the right things. You laugh at the right moments. You look present, but internally you're watching it all from a distance. And that distance, the gap between who you are and who you're showing, that's loneliness in its quietest, most socially acceptable form. Here's something that might change the way you see all of this. In 2018, a study from the University of Chicago found something surprising. When people feel lonely in social situations, their brains don't relax. They become more alert, more sensitive to social threats. So the more disconnected you feel, the more your brain starts scanning the room for signs of rejection. A neutral expression feels cold. A distracted friend feels like proof that you don't matter. Silence starts to mean something. In other words, loneliness creates the conditions for more loneliness. Your brain, trying to protect you, ends up making connection harder. And here's the part most people never hear. This response didn't come out of nowhere. It evolved. Thousands of years ago, being excluded from your group wasn't uncomfortable. It was dangerous. Sometimes it was a death sentence. So your brain learned to treat social disconnection like a real physical threat, which means what you're feeling right now isn't random, and it isn't weakness. It's your ancient survival system running in a modern world, in a living room, at a birthday party, surrounded by people who care about you. You're not broken. You're just running an old program in a new environment. Pattern 3. The depth gap. Horizontal versus vertical connection. Not all connection is built the same. Psychologists often describe two types of social bonding: horizontal connection and vertical connection. Horizontal is breadth. More people, more interactions. The kind of connection we naturally optimize for because it feels safe. Small talk, light banter, the group chat that never really goes anywhere. Then there's vertical connection. Depth, the rare moments where someone asks what's actually going on with you and waits for the real answer. Where you say something you've never said out loud before and they don't pull away. The truth is, most friend groups run almost entirely on horizontal connection. Wide, but shallow. And shallow is comfortable, but it can't hold you. It can't really see you. And over time, a life full of horizontal connections with almost no vertical ones creates a very specific kind of loneliness. The kind where you're never alone, but you're never truly known. Think about the last time you had a vertical conversation. A real one, where someone asked you something that actually cost them to ask, or you answered in a way that cost you something to say. How long has it been? For most people, it's been a while. 3 small shifts you can make, starting today. Shift 1. Give someone a real answer. The next time someone asks, "How are you?" try giving a slightly more honest version. Not a full confession, not a breakdown, just 1 degree more real than usual. Honestly, it's been a weird week. That's enough. And notice what happens. Most of the time, that small opening creates something real. Shift 2. Go 1 level deeper. When someone's talking, resist the urge to jump in with your own story. Ask one more question first. What did that feel like? How long has that been going on? That one shift turns conversation from exchange into connection. Shift 3. Name the connection, not just the moment. After a meaningful conversation, instead of saying, "That was fun," try something more real. "I really needed that." Or, "I feel like I actually got to talk to you." It sounds small, but saying it out loud is how you close the gap between the persona and the person. You don't need new friends. You need more depth with the ones you already have. So let's go back to where we started. That room full of people who care about you. That glass wall you couldn't quite explain. Now you know what it is. It's the gap between the version of you that showed up and the version of you that stayed hidden. Between the mask and the person wearing it. Between surface level connection and the depth your nervous system was actually craving. That glass wall isn't their fault, and it's not really yours either. It's your brain trying to protect you, running an old survival program in a world where the real risk isn't being hunted, it's being truly seen and still accepted. And that's what makes real connection both terrifying and beautiful. It only happens when you stop performing safety and start allowing realness. Even a little. Even once. Even tonight.